heroism, vigor, steadiness, resourcefulness, not fleeing even in battle, generosity and leadership. These are the qualities of a Kshatriya warrior born of his nature. What are the karmas of a Kshatriya warrior like? The first is Shauryam, heroism. This is the nature of a Kshatriya. Shauryam, heroism, does not just refer to someone who attacks others. Shauryam is when one cannot see injustice taking place, and an endless zeal to fight injustice becomes ignited when this is seen. Shauryam, heroism, is when one cannot bear it when something wrong is taking place. We consider Shauryam, heroism, to mean when one picks up a sword and jumps, but this is not correct. What is the motivating force behind jumping in? If it is Satya, truth, then this is Shauryam, heroism. Genghis Khan picks up a sword and jumps in, but there is no Shauryam, heroism in this. This is cruelty. A Kshatriya warrior is not cruel. A Kshatriya warrior is Shur, heroic. Therefore, one should pay attention to this a lot in Shauryam, heroism, or whether the reason for it which is taking place is clean, whether the resolve in the person's mind is clean, and whether the person's goal is clean. This is Shauryam, heroism. In the Rig Veda, there is a Manyu Sukta. For worship of Hanuman, wise people chant the Manyu Sukta. The word Manyu is a word of the Vedas. Manyu means when one's blood boils upon seeing injustice. If we look at the consequences, then on the outside, then you'll think it's anger. Both anger and Manyu are close, but anger can be without reason, and anger and shouting can take place after one's ego is hurt, but this is not there in Manyu. There is no selfishness of the person in this. Manyu is when the person's blood boils when they see injustice, when they see a dharma, and when they see immortality. This mantra is in the Rig Veda, and this mantra is also in the Shukla Yajur Veda and the Krishna Yajur Veda. In this mantra, it is asked for the Supreme Soul, Manyushcha me, O Lord, give me divine anger at injustice, adharma, and immortality. One should have Manyu, which is the anger at injustice, adharma, and immortality in them. When something wrong is taking place, then the attitude of being able to manifest Shur, heroic opposition to this, must be there. People say, let it go, they're doing it, they'll face the consequences. Such a person is not Shur, heroic. A Kshatriya warrior tries to stop these things happening. At least he opposes this by saying, what is happening here is wrong. At least he says that. This is a Kshatriya warrior, and one should have this attitude. This is necessary for society. Just like it said in politics that a strong opposition is necessary for a healthy democracy, in the same way, so that a society can remain moral, there should be people with the attitude of Manyu, anger and justice, dharma and immortality. This is Shauryam, heroism. The attitude of fighting for dharma is Shauryam, heroism. The next quality of a true Kshatriya warrior is Tej, vigor. When does Tej, vigor, manifest from? There is only one source of Tej, vigor, it is from within. Tej, vigor does not come from outside, it comes from within. And when does it come? When one's antakaran, inner being, is pure, then Tej, vigor, comes. Just like when water is clean, the rays of the sun can be seen in it, in the same way clean water sparkles like a mirror. But if you throw rubbish into that water, or if you throw dirt into that water, and that water becomes dirty, then the light of the sun shines on it, but the water does not sparkle. In the same way, if one's antakaran, inner being, is pure, then the Shakti, the power of the Supreme Consciousness, shines on them, and that which becomes manifest is Tej, vigor. God's power is falling on everyone, but if one's antakaran, inner being, is not clean, then this Tej, vigor, will not come there, and this Tej, vigor, will not become manifest there. The antakaran, inner being of a person with Tej, vigor, is pure. A true Kshatriya warrior is pure from within because he knows that I have never done anything wrong, and the matter is finished. This is his Tej, vigor. Another quality of a Kshatriya warrior is Dhruti, steadiness. He has patience. This is very necessary. When there is power, then there should also be steadiness there. If a Kshatriya warrior has power, but he does not have steadiness, then he can become destructive. I've heard it in America that America is the big brother of the world, and it has so much atomic energy. It's all prepared. America has so much power that if it likes, then it can finish off the entire world in 3 minutes. It can destroy the whole world, and its atomic weapons are prepared in this way. It is just a matter of pressing a button. But the bag to pressing that button is with the President of America. No matter where the President goes in the world, that bag remains with him. This power is given to the President, and that is why these people say that the American President is the most powerful person in the world. If he wishes, then he can destroy the entire world in 3 minutes. Why has this been given to the president? Because they consider that he is an intelligent person. If they give it to a mentally insane person, like the mad person who came into power in India's neighbours, Pakistan, in the late 90s, then this will create difficulties. What I mean to say is that when power comes, then steadiness should come with it. And the American president understands that pressing this button is not a game. And so it happened one time when Jimmy Carter became president, then he went somewhere and forgot the bag in his hotel. A lot of running around took place because the bag got left behind. Wherever the American president goes around the world, this bag goes with him all the time. A Kshatriya, a warrior, should have this steadiness together with power. While explaining Vibhuti Yoga, the yoga of God's divine manifestations, in the 10th chapter of the Gita, explained that Shri Krishna was describing his Vibhuti divine manifestations. He said that Rama Shastrabhartam Aham, of the warriors I am Sri Ram. Shri Krishna said that of the Kshatriya warriors, Sri Ram is his Vibhuti, divine manifestation. Just look at an idol of Sri Ramchandraji and see, he is holding a bow, yet he's so peaceful, sweet and happy. I'll give you an example. If a person has held a gun in his hands, then how does it look when his photo comes? When people take a photograph at a fair of them holding a gun in their hands, then they look so stressed. This is because the gun has come into their hands, then tension immediately comes to them that is there. And who knows when the horse will be let loose and this other person's life will be let lost. But Sri Ramchandraji is such that he has shauryam, heroism, weapons and power, yet he has a steadiness. He is a true hero and an example of steadiness. That is why it said that Rama Shastrabhatam Aham, of the warriors I am Sri Ram. This is because weapons and power suit Sri Ramchandraji. This is why this was said in the Gita. Power and weapons suit one who has steadiness. This is because he can make good use of power because of his understanding. He does not make wrong use of it. I have heard it that when people learn karate and the higher level belts are coming, then they've learnt a lot, then they have to do an exercise where the person standing in front of them curses them, insults them and slaps them, and yet this person has to stand there watching. He cannot do anything. This is the training that they get. The reason for this is that they have attained so much power that they just slap the other person once, then the other person will fall to the floor and would die. If they have attained this power and this technique, then if they're walking down the road and someone bumps into them and insults them, and this person strikes the other person, then the other person will be gone. Therefore, this cannot work. That is why you'll see that those who know this very well are given this steadiness. They have to particularly study this, and this is demonstrated when they stand there for a while the other person swears at them, insults them, and slaps them, yet this person is standing there. One has to acquire the quality of steadiness. Dhruti, steadiness, is a quality of a Kshatriya, warrior. A Kshatriya warrior must also have dakshiyam, resourcefulness or cleverness. See that all of these qualities are needed with power. If a person has power but does not have these qualities, then it will not work, because they will begin misusing power and they will begin abusing power. One needs resourcefulness or cleverness. Who is one that is daksha, resourceful or clever? It is one who understands the goal in life and who is making movements in order to complete this goal. Such a person is clever. The next quality is yuddhecha api apalinam, not fleeing even in battle. Ranechariyo Rajput chupe nahi. A warrior who goes to the battlefield never hides. This is the quality of a Kshatriya warrior. When the battle begins, then he never runs, he completes it. This is the quality of yuddhecha api apalinam, not fleeing even in battle. In the Sri Ramcharitmanas, there is the event of Vartika. When Sri Ramchandraji sees Sita ji for the first time, feelings arose in the mind of Sri Ramchandraji. He tells Lakshman that, Lakhan, when I see her, different feelings are born in my mind and in my heart. I do not understand why this is happening. At that time, God described 5 of the natural qualities of the Raghuvansh, and one of the qualities mentioned was this. A Raghuvansh is one whose enemies have never seen their backs on the battlefield. He then says, why then, despite this, is this happening in my mind? I am one of the Raghuvansh from whose mouth askers never hear the word no, whose mind never runs upon seeing another woman. Well, why do such feelings arise in me after seeing this girl, Lakshman? A Kshatriya warrior has the quality of yuddhecha api apalinam, not fleeing even in battle. How big is this war of life? We have to become a Kshatriya warriors in this war of life. Just like I wrote earlier that during different times of the day from the morning until the evening we pass through the 3 modes of sattva, goodness, rajas, passion, and tamas, dullness. In the same way our lives, we are all Brahmins during certain times, Kshatriya warriors during certain times, Vaishyas, merchants at certain times, and also Shudras, laborers at certain times. We have to bring all these qualities into our lives, and only then will there be a total development. A Kshatriya warrior should have this quality of Yuddhecha api apalinam, not fleeing even in battle. Life is also a battle, and we cannot show our backs to it, nor can we run away from it. You have to face it. If you face life, then you'll become qualified to face the Supreme Soul. If a person cannot face life, then they're not able to face the Supreme Soul. You should be able to face life. A Kshatriya warrior also has the quality of dhanam, generosity. This is because a Kshatriya warrior has the courage that I will attain this and I will earn this. That is why he is able to give. If a person thinks that I will give everything, then what will happen to me? Then such a person is not be able to give anything. It is the attitude of a Kshatriya warrior that I will fight and I will do it. Not only that, but just like I said earlier, he gives importance to duty and lets go of greed. A Kshatriya warrior understands that it's his duty to maintain society, and it's his duty to maintain good activities in society. And if he has to give donations of material wealth in order to maintain those good activities, then this is called dhanam, generosity. This is the nature of the Kshatriya warrior. A Kshatriya warrior should have the quality of dhanam, generosity. He should think that if I lose something, then I will attain it from somewhere, but this activity should not stop. A Kshatriya warrior should also have the quality of Ishva Bhavaha, leadership. Leadership is a quality of a Kshatriya warrior. Wherever he goes, he wishes to remain at the top as a leader. He never stays underneath somebody's hands. I can also give the spiritual meaning of this, that when one has the experience of the Supreme Soul residing within them, then how can you remain someone's slave? And if I were to say the third meaning of this, then not only one who is the Lord of himself can be the Lord of someone else. If a person is not a Lord of himself, then he cannot become a Lord of someone else. If a person is a slave to his own senses, then the whole world would make him a slave. I did not get these experiences now, but when I was studying at the beginning and travelling to school, then I saw with my own experiences that wealthy people would be walking down the road and they get an urge to smoke cigarettes. Then they would take out a cigarette from the packet and would smoke it. They would search and would not be able to find the matches. They see a tramp sitting on the street smoking cigarettes, and they ask them, pass it here, and they would light the cigarettes using the cigarettes of the tramps. I'll think, oh my goodness, this person is a slave to his senses, and he would say them to the other to pass the cigarette to him. I've seen them, and you've perhaps seen them. They'll go to the doorman of the office and ask them for matches. This is slavery. The reason for this is that he's a slave to his own senses. But one who becomes an owner of himself, such a person attains the quality of Ishvara Bhavaha, leadership. There is no arrogance in this. Please do not misunderstand the words of Sri Krishna in the Gita. There is no arrogance in Ishvara Bhavaha, leadership, but there is independence. This is the Ishvara Bhavaha, leadership, that one will not bow down to anyone because of temptations. All of these duties are the natural duties of a Kshatriya warrior. God describes the qualities of Vaishyas, merchants, and Shudras, laborers, in the next verse. Verse 44. Krishi